All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. A lot to talk about today, really. At 6.5 weeks out from the 2022 Mr. Olympia, it's rapidly approaching. It's getting here quick. And we've got physique updates from a lot of the top guys, including Nick Walker. So both today and yesterday, Nick Walker posted quite a few physique updates. I think the most impressive of those updates was this one right here, posted today, the front double bicep from today's update. He just has a gnarly front double bicep pose, and I think he's got gnarly arms in general. But he says in this update he's weighing 277 pounds, and today's update had both that front double bicep and a most muscular shot. And I think, honestly, a lot of people are talking about Nick. A lot of people are talking about Hunter. You've got Michael Krizo. You've got Andrew Jacked. Who is going to be the next guy to crack the top three at the Olympia? And I'd say Nick Walker looks pretty damn good here. He looks like a guy that could potentially crack that top three. But again, I kind of stand by what I said the last time around. To crack that top three, you've got to be either bigger than Big Ramy, more aesthetic or, more pleasing to look at than Brandon Curry, or more conditioned than Hadi Choopan. Those three guys are like the best at each of those categories, and they are the top three. So you got to be better than one of them at one of those things. So my thing for Nick is if he can come in more conditioned than Hadi with this physique, this size, then he would crack the top three. That's what Nick has to do, because he's not going to be bigger than Ramy, and he's not going to be more aesthetically pleasing than Brandon. So what he has to do to crack the top three is come in as conditioned as he possibly can. And I think that would be the one thing that gets him past Hadi. But I do know that he still has to get past Hunter Labrada and able to do that. And also yesterday, by the way, he posted the back double bicep and the side chest. So we got 4 physique updates, all at around 6.5 weeks out from the Olympia from Nick Walker. Even though he was 5th last year, I think he is in a lot of people's predictions right now and a lot of people's conversation for moving up for potential top 3. I saw some people predicting him to win the show. It's honestly been really fun. That's one of my favorite parts of the Olympia buildup, is reading your guys' predictions, and then the arguments that you guys have about each other's predictions are very entertaining in the comment sections. I think they're very interesting, and I think a lot of you guys make really good cases. Even the most extreme, unlikely predictions, I see some really good arguments in favor of your predictions in the comments. I've seen people make really good cases for Nick winning. So again, if you want to have that discussion in the comments below, comment your top 3 or top 6 men's open Olympia predictions in the comment section down below. Now, another guy that we got a physique update from at 6.5 weeks out, the Conqueror, William Bonac, runner-up at this year's Arnold Classic, and 6th at the last Olympia. I think he has made dramatic improvements. He posted basically a full posing video, which he says he recorded for his coach, Chad Nichols, who, by the way, is also the coach of Big Ramy. Bonac is a guy that I feel everybody is sleeping on. He was 6th last year, but I think he really has improved. He improved dramatically for the Arnold Classic from that Olympia. I think here he's really showing proof that he did fix that gyno problem. His conditioning looks on point. The thing with Bonac is him being such a compact bodybuilder. He's got so much muscle on his frame. He's so dense. He's so complete. I don't think from a standpoint of adding size, there's much he could do. So the improvements he really needed to make was conditioning, the injury, and the gyno, all of which he says he fixed, and it looks like he fixed. And he's been as high as top 3. He's been 2nd. And I think a testament to him coming back with all these issues fixed is the caption. He says, "God will put you back together right in front of the people who broke you." I made this video yesterday, my progress update from my coach, Chad Nichols, at 6.5 weeks out to the Olympia 2022. I think this is him showing off all the improvements and the fixes that he's made to his physique. And he's another wild card, man. It's another thing that makes this lineup so difficult to predict. He was 6th last year. I really see him moving up. But again, those top 3 spots are so solid, and so I feel secure. Does Bonac move up and beat Nick? Does he move up and beat Hunter? Does he move up and beat Hadi Choopan? I could possibly see him as high as 3rd, battling out with Brandon again for 2nd. Does he beat Ramy? Is that even possible at this point? I don't know. Where do you guys see Bonac landing in this lineup? I guess I could see him as high as 2nd. Now, speaking of top Olympians, Hadi Choopan, Hani Rambod. So Hadi Choopan has arrived in Texas to finish out the remainder of his Olympia prep these last 6.5 weeks. in the States with his coach, Hadi Choopan, to avoid any last-minute visa or travel issues and to ensure that he's able to finish out that rest of his prep with as minimal stress as possible and with the maximum ability to actually compete in the Olympia and no last-minute threat of not being able to get into the country. So he shows that he arrived in Texas. Then he also showed one physique update after being in Texas with Hadi Choopan, showing kind of the abs and thighs pose from the side, trying to show that conditioning with Hadi. And honestly, I don't really think there's much to talk about with this update. You can't really see much of his physique. It's hard to tell how he's looking. I think the most important part about this is the fact that he is in the States, he is in Texas, he is with his coach, and he will be finishing off the rest of his prep here in the States to make sure he's able to compete. So I guess that's really the main point of this story, is that he will be competing in the Olympia, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any foreseeable setbacks based on travel or visas like he's had in years past. Now, you might think we're done with the physique updates after all those, but we got another one for you guys today in men's open bodybuilding. Also, working with Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford, showing us a 6.5 weeks out, most muscular, looking very big, very impressive. And again, I want to make the same point with Derek because I feel that Derek can be a top 6 guy here. I don't think that's too much of a controversial statement. He's a 212 Olympia champ, and he's got a great physique. And I think the same thing applies to Derek as applies to Nick when it comes to trying to crack that top 3. You've either got to be bigger and freakier than Big Ramy, more aesthetic or pleasing to look at than Brandon Curry, or you've got to be more conditioned than Hadi Choopan. Now, he's got 2 really good things going for him, Derek does. He's very aesthetic. He's got a very pleasing physique to look at. In all likelihood, he's not going to out-muscle or be bigger than Big Ramy. He also has pretty good conditioning. And he's working with the same coach that Hadi is working with. So he's got this unique ability to where he could take this very aesthetic physique, very pleasing physique, and still come in more shredded than Hadi Choopan because he's working with the same coach as Hadi. And Derek could find himself in a second place position because I do think that if he combined those 2 attributes, he could be more pleasing to look at than potentially Brandon, and he could potentially come in more conditioned than Hadi. And if that was the case, that would be an interesting battle. Derek Lunsford and Big Ramy for 1 and 2. There are so many different ways that this Olympia could go down. There are so many different possible outcomes. I really do think this is going to be one of the best we've ever seen. Or if you think I'm insane for even suggesting that, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, the final story that I've got for you guys today, there is going to be a pro show this weekend, and honestly, I'm getting a little bit burnt out on the Olympia qualifying pro shows because I feel like that Olympia competitor list is already so long. Looking at this lineup for the Europa Pro this weekend in Spain, November 6th, you've got Jamie Atenza, Kokeni Bella, Lewis Breed, Vlad Shiriak, Mohammed Hassan, Enrico Hoffman, Danny Kovanovich, Theo Laguerria, Pablo Lopez Munoz, Sem Nazim, Christian Pancorbo, Jorge Abraham Trejo Reyes. And then the week after this, I believe, is the Romania Muscle Fest Pro. And I believe that's the last one. And that's the one that Brett Wilkin is doing. And I do want to see Brett Wilkin's name added to that list. And while there are some good bodybuilders on this lineup, it's like, how much deeper do we want the outside of the top 10 at the Olympia to be? Because let's be honest here. In all likelihood, anybody on this list that qualifies for the Olympia is going to be outside of the top 10. And I don't mean that as any disrespect, but if we've already got, actually, let's go ahead and count the current qualified competitors right now. So not counting the point standings, there are 30 qualified competitors for the Olympia right now. If you count the point standings, there are 33 qualified for the Men's Open Olympia. And to be completely honest, I think this is the deepest I've ever seen the Olympia qualified list. Now that, I was talking about a couple of videos ago how I felt like this Olympia was the most competitive since I started covering bodybuilding on YouTube. This is probably the deepest I've seen that list, 33 names. Granted, some of them I don't think are competing, and some of them we know are not competing. Nathan Diasha has kind of implied that he's not doing it. We know that Regan Grimes isn't doing it. We don't know whether or not Sean Clarita is doing Open or 212. We don't know for sure whether or not Angel Calderon Frias is doing Open or 212. I'm trying to see if there's any other names on here that are not doing it that we know for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's this is a deep Olympia. There's a lot of names, and the point that I was trying to make was if you got 33 competitors, let's say 30 of them actually do it. That means there's 20 guys competing to be outside of the top 10. It's just something to think about. In the best competition in the world, this is the most prestigious bodybuilding competition in the world, how many people do we want outside of the top 10 battling for placings 11 through 33? And I think actually at the Olympia they cut it off at 16, and then everybody else just kind of ties for last. I think 16 is the final placing that they count. But that goes even more to my point. I mean, it just feels like there's a lot of names, and we're talking about men's open bodybuilding here. We're not even talking about classic physique that's got 50 plus, men's physique, which I think has also 50 plus. We're not even talking about the women's division. I feel like this is going to be one hell of a long live stream for the Olympia this year. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. That's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you leave a like, a thumbs up. That helps out a lot if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell notification icon if you have not already. That helps out a lot. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.
Dancing in the good light, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Dancing in the good light, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing